Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horn, and I bring you a video tonight titled "Sexually Attractive Men Go Through Healthy Droughts." But before we go any further, always know my videos in the dating space. They're inspired by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. To everyone who's placed your orders, I shipped them out last week. You all should be getting them by now. They're coming. If you haven't already gotten them yet, they're going to arrive relatively quickly. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting me in donating, ordering books, interacting with me. I really appreciate you all. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me up the algorithm. I'm truly thankful for you all. Let's take this ride together. But let's get right to it. Sexually attractive men go through healthy droughts. Now, the cornerstone of being a sexually attractive man is that you don't have to have sex with every woman that you have access to. That's something that I don't want to get lost. You don't have to have sex with every woman that you have access to. A cornerstone of the sexually attractive man is that he's going to physically interact with women who see him the way that he sees himself. As a sexually attractive man, you've elevated, you've worked on yourself, and you're continuing to work on yourself. Your appearance is top notch, and you're elevating from the inside out, meaning that you're in tune with your gifts, your talents, your abilities, meaning that you've embraced everything that is a representation of giving your best to the world, so you have an expectation that you're going to get the best in return, not just from the world, but with beautiful women as well. So the sexually attractive man, when I truly slice it, it's a game of recognition. It's a game of only dealing with women who view you the same way that you view yourself, because you know the superior product that you've become and that you're bringing to the marketplace. And a lot of times, you'll go through periods where some women that you interact with, you may have even had a physical encounter with her. You did everything right. You hit all those right spots. You made her shake. You turned the bed to a waterfall. You know the things I'm talking about. And she may be uncomfortable based on the magnitude of man that you are, meaning she's like intimidated, and she's just not comfortable in your space because she knows that she's going to have to bring the best version of herself to you, because without you saying a word, you're bringing the best version of yourself to her. And so sometimes you're only going to have one encounter, and there's going to be gaps in between one woman and the time you get to deal with the next woman. And technically that's called a drought. But as a sexually attractive man, there are no droughts. There's just pauses. There's just moments when you have to hold your breath and hold on until the next woman who recognizes you and reveres you enters your space. The separation between the average man and the sexually attractive man is the average man is just going to do anything just to gain intimacy with the woman. He's going to put up with the disrespect. He's going to put up with the woman that doesn't see him the way that he sees himself. That's going to be the average man right there. But when you're the sexually attractive man, you are bringing the highest value man to the market, the quintessential man, meaning that you know that you're clicking on all cylinders. You know that you're bringing a physically attractive version of yourself to women. You know that you're bringing an elevated version of yourself to life, meaning that you're putting the best product out there. And when you truly have an awareness of the best product, and you become the best product, then you're more selective in the women that you deal with. Some men that have a lot of women around them, they put up with a lot of stuff. They eat a lot of shit. And you can not even have to take a deep dive into look into these men's philosophies and how they move. And you can see that maybe they have a sea of women around them, but those women feel comfortable because those women don't have to bring the best version of themselves to that man. Meaning that they're going to serve him plates of shit. And since the man doesn't necessarily believe in himself, or he hasn't elevated to the best version of himself, he's going to eat that shit. And those women feel comfortable being around him because they don't have to elevate to be to be their best selves, and they can stay in that man's space. So as a sexually attractive man, you can't compare yourself. You can't compare yourself to the stuff that the average man has to deal with. You have to be truly sold on yourself and be conscious of the man that you've evolved into and that you're evolving into, and understand that there's only a certain segment of women that can recognize the type of man that you really are, the magnitude of man. And you've heard me mention that word magnitude in my previous videos, but it's something I'm going to stand tall on, because the right woman is going to enter your space because she recognizes the magnitude of man that you are, and she's going to treat you in accordance with that. And so there may be these gaps, what is perceived as a drought in between one woman to the next, but those gaps are the cornerstone of masculinity. You haven't reached heightened levels of masculinity until you can hold your breath when the wrong women are trying to enter your space and treat you and treat you in a way that's not in accordance with the man that you know that you are. There's going to be some gaps. And there's nothing wrong with that, because as you experience those gaps, that's when you're making yourself more recognizable, and you're gaining strength and prowess in your masculinity, and you're making yourself more recognizable to the type of women that are a complement to you. The sexually attractive, elevated man only deals with women who understand the magnitude of man that he is. And like I said before, there's going to be some gaps, and that's perfectly fine. That's the natural order of things. So there's going to be some droughts, and there may, in the midst of those droughts, there may be some temptation to look backwards and say, oh, I didn't have that bad of an experience with this girl, or, this girl offered herself to me, we had fun, we did this, but something caused you to disconnect from her. And usually that catalyst that you disconnected from her with, or because of, there was some sort of disrespect, there was some sort of treatment from her that wasn't in accordance with how you were treating her. And you never want to look backwards. You always want to be moving forward as a sexually attractive man, because your experiences will elevate as long as you stand tall in your masculinity. Not every woman is going to see you exactly how you see yourself. And when you have that understanding, then it's not just, oh, I can be intimate with her. It's, oh, I need the totality of the experience with her. Sexually attractive men are looking for an experience, not just sex and physical intimacy. They're looking for an experience, because if you have the right experience with the right type of women, then your world would never be thrown off of balance. The sexually attractive man, one of the cornerstones of him is his life is in balance. He has an awareness of who he is. He's bringing the best version of himself to life. And he's experienced what the return on what he's bringing to life looks like. And if women are in your space and they're not giving you the experience that you're giving to life, then you have to let them go, even if you have sexual access to them. You're never going to get the right woman or women on an elevated level, on a peaceful level, on a balanced level, until you can let go of women that you have sexual access to that are a detriment to your life, that are going to throw imbalance in your life, that are going to disrespect you and not bring you peace. Until you can let those segment of women go and go through a drought and hold your breath, then the right women can never materialize. And that's the whole point of this video tonight, is that you're going to go through some healthy droughts. If you know yourself, you love yourself, and accept yourself, there's going to be some gaps sometimes. There's going to be some gaps. And there's nothing wrong with those, because those gaps are taking you deeper into your masculine energy. They're making you stronger. and they're making you more recognizable to the type of women that you need to exist in your space. So if you can't withstand a drought, then you'll never have access to the elevated woman who's going to bring you peace and bring you an elevated experience and bring you the best experience where she views you exactly how you view yourself. And she's giving you the exact experience that you're giving to her. This is a game of balance. This isn't a game of sexual access. This is a game of balance. And if you want your life to be thrown out of balance, then deal with women who disrespect you. Deal with women who give you second tier and second class treatment, all in the name of getting some pussy. That's when your life is out of balance. But when your life is in balance, you can go through a drought. You can go through a period of time where there's just a sea of women around you that you're encountering. They may be attracted to you. You may have even had a sexual encounter with her. But they don't view you the way that you view yourself. They don't treat you the way that you are treating them. Just because you had an experience with it, you could have done everything right. You could have hit all those spots. You could have made her shake, made her leak all over your sheets, but that's not enough if you're going to have a life of balance and you're going to have a life of masculinity that you're going to keep ascending, going higher, growing deeper and deeper into masculinity. That's what this video is about. Accepting your masculine self. And there's not too many women who have elevated that can recognize and pair themselves with a sexually attractive masculine man. So you have to be conscious of that. You have to be conscious of what's coming back to you versus what you're giving. And sometimes I'm going to admit, and I've done this myself, sometimes your drought is because you had women in your space who did things the right way and you took them for granted. Sometimes that drought, that season of not having physical intimacy with the women, sometimes that drought is because you took for granted the women who were giving you a good experience. And that's something else I wanted to say tonight, is that you don't take those women for granted. And I'll end it with this. As a sexually attractive, grounded, self-loving man, your attractiveness scale has to change away from the world's scale, the world's standards. The world says, oh, she's so bad. She looks so good. Do anything to get at her. Lie, manipulate, cater to her, disrespect yourself. That's the world scale, but the world is average. If you're a sexually attractive man, you're above average because you have an above average love for yourself and awareness of yourself. So what could be perceived as a 7, if that woman is treating you right and she has an awareness of who you are and she's offering herself to you, and she's not playing games and she's not being disrespectful, that 7 has to become a dime in your mind. Your self-love has to represent the scale that you weigh women on, that you judge women on. And so you want to keep good women around you as long as they're attractive enough and they're giving you the experience that you're giving to them, and you make sure that you continually give them a good experience. Every woman, regardless of how she looks, if she's attractive enough for you to be attracted to her and make her way into your space, you have to give her a good experience. You have to give her a good experience. Because that good experience is a reflection of the love that you have for yourself, meaning that that woman is showing up in your space the right way. You can't be so fixated on looks that you miss out on a woman that actually looks good and is giving you an elevated experience based on how you see yourself and based on how you're treating her. So you have to keep your eyes open for the good women and give those women a good experience. Now, some of them you may not feel that spark for and that magic for, but you have to be honest with her. She might want more, and you have to be, exact in terms of how you feel about her. You have to be honest with her and give her a choice to stay there. And some of those women know that You are a representation of what they want. You're the sexually desirable man. You've improved yourself from the inside out. Your outward appearance is a reflection of how you see yourself internally, meaning you're bringing the best version of yourself to life into these women. And they like what they see and they like what they experience, and they're going to treat you in accordance with that. And it's okay to keep those women around. It's to your advantage to keep those women around and give them a good experience. You know, as a sexually attractive man, you want to be in a sea of women who are giving you a good experience, who are giving you the same experience that you're giving to her. So don't take those women for granted that may not be the dime piece, but they're offering you themselves and they're offering you a good experience. And eventually you'll meet the woman that you really want, you know, on a look scale, on an experience scale. And, you know, ultimately that's probably a representation of your first choice. But you just have to keep in mind that everyone's going to continue to interact with each other. There's really not too much abstinence out here. So people are going to dib and dab and deal. And so you want to make sure that you're keeping good women around you. And like I said before, some of those droughts are self-imposed. Don't think that you're too good just because you've maximized yourself for those women who might not be as attractive as you are, but you're still attracted to them. A lot of those women can carry you through those seasons. A lot of those women can carry you through some good seasons and give you some good experiences, and you all can have an enjoyable experience, even if you all don't necessarily end up together. So you have to have a scale that's rooted in your love for yourself and your awareness of yourself, and understand that it's okay to experience a drought. You may be in a situation where there's just some women and you're meeting them on a regular basis and they just don't see you the way that you see yourself. But as a sexually attractive man, this is how you know you're a sexually attractive man. These droughts don't last long. There's always another woman who is eventually going to see you as the sexually attractive man that you are. But you can't lie to yourself. You have to become that man. You can't bring an inferior product to the marketplace and expect optimal treatment. So being a sexually attractive man and having these elevated and enjoyable experiences with women begin with you. The level of work that you're going to do on yourself and the product that you're going to bring to the marketplace. And if you bring an elevated product to the marketplace, you bring a superior product to the marketplace, yeah, there may be some droughts and some gaps, but they don't last long. So you have to hold your breath. And you have to withstand those droughts because you're going deeper into your masculinity and your identity. If you don't stand tall in an identity, then you're going to be swayed back and forth, and you're always going to be regressing. So the sexually attractive man, he can withstand a drought because he's deeply fixated in his identity, meaning that he has an understanding of the version of himself and the product that he's bringing to this world. He's not delusional because there are women constantly acknowledging the product that he's bringing to the world and treating him accordingly. So you can't lie to yourself. Like I said, you might go through these droughts, these quick phases where you're meeting women who just are uncomfortable. They know that they're going to have to do some work to remain in your space. They may see you as better than the men that they normally deal with. And they're attracted to you, but they're uncomfortable. They don't even know what to do in your space. So becoming that man, there's going to be some natural gaps, but those natural gaps are you elevating and growing even more and going deeper into your masculinity so that you can attract the women who truly deserve to be in your space, who've worked on themselves and who see you as a match. That's why you can't be afraid of a drought. You can't look backwards. You can't pick up that phone and call that girl who gave you an inferior experience because it's only going to be worse. You have to stand tall. You have to go deeper in your masculinity. And your masculinity has to become more fixated, and it has to grow in order to attract the women that truly deserve to be in your space, that are going to give you that peaceful experience, that elevated experience, that enjoyable experience. It's based on the level of masculinity that you're bringing to them. And the right women are going to acknowledge that. So there may be some gaps as you grow, as you elevate. But it's okay because the right woman is always going to be there waiting. It's not going to last for long, but you can't meet that right woman or those right women who are going to give you the right experience until you're able to hold your breath until they appear. So never settle for inferior treatment. Be so fixated within yourself and your masculinity and the version of the man that you've become and that you're becoming that you understand what you deserve. Understand that every woman that gives you a good experience, that you have a level of attraction to, she deserves a good experience as well. And that's when you have good women around you. That's when you're swimming in the sea of good women. And eventually one of them will rise to the top and you will identify her as your match. But you want to be swimming in the sea of good women. And that may come with some droughts. But there's always something greater. Once you're able to hold your breath, stand tall, and go deeper into your masculinity, there's always a representation of a match that's going to be around that. But you have to show the universe that you qualify for that, meaning that you're willing to withstand and abstain and stay away from those lesser women who are not giving you the right experience, the exact experience that's in accordance with who you are. You have to hold your breath until those elevated women who are going to give you elevated experiences appear in your space. And the only way that they're going to feel safe in your space is that they understand that they're in the space of an elevated man. So it's not always about having someone laying next to you every night. It's about having that right woman in your space so that when you lay next to her, it's an enjoyable experience. It's an experience that's an exact representation of the man that you've become. I hope I've been clear enough tonight. Sexually attractive men and the healthy droughts that they experience. Sexually attractive men, you will experience some healthy droughts, but there's a much elevated experience, much more elevated experience on the other side of the drought. And it doesn't last forever if you're truly the sexually desirable man. And that's all I had to say tonight. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach. Bring you a video tonight titled, The Sexually Attractive Man Experiences Healthy Droughts. It's been brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available on my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Once again, everyone who's ordered your copies, they've shipped out. They are on the way. If you're in need of coaching, don't forget to contact me at matt@matthewchorne.com. If there's any places you want to go to in the dating space, I'm your man. Email me. I'll take you there. If this video has been of value to you and your thought process have been elevated as a result of encountering this message, don't forget to drop something in my donation information. If you feel this content is different, it's better than what you normally encounter, continue to help me to grow as I continue to help you to elevate and grow. Drop something in my PayPal and my Cash App that's in my video description. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll be back at you very soon with some more videos. Stay tuned. And don't be afraid of a drought. A drought is the gateway to elevated experiences. If you don't settle, then you always maximize the experiences that you want to have. So you can't be afraid of that drought. It's a natural course of action as you elevate, meaning that you're going higher. As you go higher, the air becomes more dense. It's harder to breathe, meaning that less women are going to be comfortable in your space. But when you find those women, you're going to understand what an enjoyable and elevated experience actually is. I'll see you soon.